I dropped out 2 times, became freshman 3 times, and spent 6 years in college. I'm not going to talk about too much detail on how I create all these mess. Those stories need another video for another time. So in short, I went to business school in 2018 and then dropped out, became a design student by accident in 2019, and then back to business student again in 2020. But to be clear, I did not do anything wrong. I just feel like I don't like this school or this department, so I drop out. And here's the thing I learned along the way. So I was live at New Taipei City the whole time in my life, and that is the city right next to our capital city Taipei. And since Taiwan is pretty small and the Great Taipei area has one of the best transportations, it's very fast and very easy going to everywhere in Taipei. The first college I went to is like way down to southern Taiwan, very small town, and I cannot even use my credit card or mobile payment at most of the places. And they don't even have proper sidewalk that I can find most of the time. So since day one, I know that I need to get out of this place. But the attitude I towards to this situation is like trashing this place all the time, talking all the negativities, and really talk like I'm better than anyone else from this place, so I shouldn't be here. I mean, of course you can hate things in your life. You can feel like you don't fit in. You can feel like you don't belong to this place. But speaking is an art, pointing out the problem or the thing you don't like, or expressing yourself in a way that don't offend people, or let other people think that you are that one guy always hating or spreading hate, or you are that one self-entitled guy, is a real skill. And looking back, I think I really failed on this part during that time, so I didn't make much friend there. And even until now, me and my old high school friend, when we're talking about me during that time, and literally all of them are saying that I just spreading hate and negativities online about those places during that time. I think I should handle it better, and we should all learn how to not spreading hate and learn how to not be a self-entitled person altogether. And I think there's a quote very suitable for this situation. If you want to take away one thing, only one thing from this video, this is the one. Healthy first. I cannot stress this enough. Healthy first. On every aspect outside of your career and your work, your 20s is your biggest foundation of your life. Your personal health, your routine, your habits, your lifestyle in your 20s, they'll affect you later on in your life a lot, especially your health. After your mid-20s, you are not a young kid who can eat shitty microwave food all day and be fine. So please start it to live a better life, or basically is just live a life that is more like a human being. Just eat cleaner food and drink less alcohol, smoke less cigarette, or just like me, I don't drink and smoke at all, and I quit alcohol since 22, 23 I think, and things are pretty well. Also find an exercise that you love and enjoy and make it into your weekly calendar. I see people in my school eating terrible food, drinking, smoking all day, and some others live like they are running a billion-dollar company, sleep like 3-4 hours a day. Just please taking care of yourself and your health more while you are young. I'm not saying that you cannot change anything about your life after your 20s. We see people making drastic change all the time at different stages of their life, but I feel like it will be way harder in your 30s or 40s trying to understand what is eat clean food and exercise regularly if you don't have that habit before. And maybe you have your children, your families, maybe you are at your career peak high. You just have too much things going on in your life, so the dedication, the willingness, the effort you need to put in is way more than doing it in your 20s. I personally experienced this when I was 15 and 18. I know it's very young, but hear me out. 15 years old is when I was preparing for my high school exam. I put a lot of effort in, and to the point where my body just won't function properly. I was sick and tired all day, and I don't have energy to focus on the class. And the basic function of me going to the toilet doing number 2 is totally broken. So I spent a lot of time and effort trying to put my body back to where it's supposed to be like. After that, I kinda scared of grinding and hardworking adult throughout my high school life because I don't want to experience those things again. But still, when I was 18 years old, I have my college exam. And this time, I think the big difference is I know where my limits is, and I eat a more clean, balanced diet, and also I exercise regularly. So physically, my body is pretty good. Nothing bad happened, even though I reduced the amount of day I train. I would say my overall condition is B+. Not in my best shape, but definitely better than a lot of people around me, and it's definitely better than last time. But my mental health though, terrible. A lot of things happened that time, and I think I suffered from very negative mindset for 2 to 3 years, I think. And those negativities started to bring down other aspects of my life. For example, sleeping and focusing, tolerance to other things in my life. I cannot tolerate any small noise at that time. And I started to feel like nothing but anger and depressed. And to be honest, COVID actually saved me though. The 2020 and 21 lockdown actually saved my ass. It was at that time everything slows down and I can rethinking and re-enjoy everything around me. And I can really slow down and start over. And those days when we playing Minecraft together with our friends and also at the same time we have online classes, those days will forever has a place in my heart. Outside of me saving by COVID, I started to enjoy walking around, getting sunshine, and eat some nutritious food at that time. And those things combined together helps a lot on me on getting back to be a normal person. So every time my friend telling me that they are having some rough time or tough time, I would tell them from my experience, having maybe 15-30 minutes just to get some sunshine and relax every single day, and also get some nutritious fruit. For me, it's blueberries and all the other berries. I think those berries help a lot on my personal daily life, to the point where if I'm running out of berry this morning, the next day my life is slowly becoming a mess. Anyway, I'm not giving you any medical advice, just something works for me and I'm speaking from my experience. And the mental and physical health is now I'm considered as a top priority at this point. People are really different. Design students, law students, business students, they all have different way to think and different way to interact with people. I know there are so much variety in each individual, but the thing I want to say is, if you want to connect with your teammate better and more efficiently, you need to understand what they care and how their mind works. For example, during a team project, I'm using team project as an example because I think chatting with a person shouldn't be this focusing on efficiency. If I'm facing a guy who only cares about getting things done, he don't have too much things to say, and he's extremely boring, generally I'll keep things very simple and short, to the point where it feels like you are making a slide with a bunch of bullet points. I know it sounds boring, but imagine trying to having a conversation with this kind of person. Usually the whole conversation won't last like 5 seconds. And to be honest, they are probably in their working mode and just want to get things done. Cannot blame them. And remember, we as a person trying to communicate with them, act like them. On the other hand, there's another guy who is very talkative, probably has some ADHDs, definitely use too much TikTok and knows all the slangs. I would try to use more relaxed way to communicate. Sometimes maybe sharing some random things I saw on the internet. Just 1 to 2 minutes, nothing too exaggerated. So the main goal is trying to have a conversation like you have with your friend and at the same time telling them the important thing. I think this will help on our overall interaction and our team chemistry as well, because if you talk everything very fast and very short like the first guy, their attention span probably cannot catch up, or they simply get boring and losing their focus. And so the main takeaway is trying to understand their mind and follow how they like to talk. I'm not saying that you cannot have your personality during the conversation, just trying to find a balance point and find what works best for you. This is something I recently learned and still developing. In the past, if I saw anything happen, my brain will just simply accept the information and that's it. There's no further process or questioning. And recently, I slowly developed a habit, or I should say randomly acquire a skill, that my brain will do extra process on the info I get and is very useful. Sometimes I'm thinking about the reason or the problem behind the problem and what leads to the current outcome. And sometimes it's how can this event change our life on different aspects. And I think if you start thinking from this kind of view, a lot of things or news just started to make sense, or things are just more clear. And let's take our housing price as an example. Taiwan has one of the highest property to income ratio, and in the past I would just complain about the housing crisis and maybe hoping some magic will happen and cut the price into half. But right now I start to look at the reason behind this problem and the things might happen in the future. So first of all, why is this happening? It's probably because the very low interest rate and the low maintaining costs, and the real estate property is becoming a financing tool and not a place to live. I'm just list a few, and will it change in the future? After they implement the new 40 years mortgage with even lower interest rate, at the end of the day, you still need a place to live. Even with our birth rate is one of the lowest in the world, I just don't see it happen. Our salaries doesn't increase that much in the past 30 years. My conclusion is the 2 to 3 bedroom apartment will always be there, and the price will most likely be the same within a certain range. The problem is the total size will get smaller and smaller because the total price is not changed and the price per square meter goes up. And please don't be too harsh or too picky on this topic. I just did some simple research on the housing market right now. It's just a way to showcasing how I'm thinking on the problem and the news, focusing on the problem behind the problem, and trying to ask more questions like what's gonna happen next and what is the possible outcome. Nowadays, at least in Taiwan, lots of news are overly exaggerated, and sometimes it's clickbait title, and sometimes the news info is totally wrong. And also on social media, there are tons of gurus out there trying to educate people without any proof or resources. You can scroll to an Instagram reel telling you that eating vegetable is good, and on the very next short video telling you that eating vegetable is bad. I think we all need to learn how to fact check and always having some doubt in our mind and remain curious. Even if your professor talking about something, I think doing fact check on your professor is still important, because they are professor, that doesn't mean they get everything right and they know everything. Okay, so one last thing, please try out different things, please. Being a student is like having a privilege, or I should say students equals privilege. No one will blame you when you screw things up, but if you hired by a company, now you have the responsibilities, and the mistake you made might create more problems that your company needs to put more money and more time into it to deal with. Also, the cost of trying and cost of failing is extremely low, and you have a lot of time when you are a student. You don't have to worry about your careers, your jobs, so go set up your YouTube channel that you always wanted. Go set up a startup company if you have any business ideas in your mind. There are a lot of startup boosters and venture capitals out there that can help you. And to be honest, generally just please playing around during your student time and gain a lot of experience, and you are most likely one step closer to figure out what you like and what you don't like.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
And another student privilege is those education discounts out there. Look at Apple, Spotify, Unity, Ableton, YouTube Premium. They all have student discounts, and I think we should really take this as an advantage and apply as much as we can if we need it. It will be a big help on your personal financing side. Or maybe you can just learn some new things, join a school hobby club, learning how to make a great cup of coffee or invest in cryptos. And to be honest, I think joining a school club is one of the best decisions I ever made during my 6 years of college experience. I met tons of different people there, and we share the same interests, but at the same time, we have different background, we have different thoughts, just so much things we can exchange. I went to the coffee club in my school for 4 years straight, and one of the best things I love about this coffee club is sometimes we just sit together in the afternoon making coffee and talks about everything, from the politics, from the news, maybe school miscellaneous, just everything. And it just feels really nice to having a place that you can go to and hang out with people. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. And since you made it to this far, I think I might as well just give you a bonus tips. Friend comes and go. People are changing all the time. In college, your friend just comes and go, and that's pretty normal, I think. If they stay, that's good. If they leave, just wish them the best. They might having a brand new life, or they might just changing along the way, so you guys are not sharing the same interest anymore. And that's pretty much it, guys. What do you guys learn in the school? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see my other videos, I will link it right here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.